Hello again, everybody. It has been a while, but I think I'm finally ready to start making videos again, albeit maybe not as regularly. Sorry I just kinda dipped for a month, but I was really starting to get burnt out and I desperately needed a break. So apologies if this video is a bit unorganized. I have gotten a little rusty during my time away, but I am, I have more content planned. This is just a warm-up video. I'm going to at least make a few, maybe like 2 or 3 videos, and then I'll see what happens from there. But anyways, my future plans aside, in case you didn't know who Butch Hartman is, he's the guy that made Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, as well as worked on a bunch of other shows. You've probably heard of him. But I just want to say Fairly Odd Parents was a show that I absolutely loved as a kid, and it's really unfortunate to see the path that he's taken, aka copying and making, honestly, in my opinion, kind of lackluster commissions that are like $200, promising his fans a streaming platform that raised like $300,000 but never actually came to fruition and turned out to be like this weird uber Christian site or whatever, saying that the current voice actor of Timmy Turner somehow had something to do with the unfortunate passing of the original voice actor, being extremely egocentric overall and adding canon Mpreg into a kid's cartoon. I don't know if you guys remember that episode or what, like in the Fairly Odd Parents, because apparently, I don't know, men are the ones that carry the children in the fairy world, which was just that. Why did he decide to add that in? That is such an odd thing, just like, oh yeah, this is going to be a canon part of the lore now. I don't know, that happened and it was really weird if you ask me. But anyways, most of the stuff I listed is kind of old news, which is why I want the main focus of this video to be his overpriced commissions, specifically the one that he just kind of straight up copied from another artist, as well as, the kind of poor quality in general. And speaking of commissions, if you want to get one from somebody who isn't like an absolute maniac for 1/10 of the price, I'm your guy. I have my commissions open. The most expensive one is $20, and like the least expensive one is like $1. So obviously I have really good prices compared to this guy, and unlike him, I actually am pretty original with my posing. I don't just straight up rip them from other artists. But anyways, a long intro out of the way, let's actually get into the the good bits. So, Butch Hartman is kind of infamous for having pretty expensive commissions, which at first glance is kind of understandable, seeing as he's a pretty well-known guy and he's worked on some pretty big projects and shows, and so you think his art must be really good. But then you look at it and it looks like this, and this, and this one as well. Not all of these, again, are commissions, but it's hard to believe that this came from the hand of the guy who made the Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. I'm sorry, but the neon pastel backgrounds, the over-blurred backgrounds with the random dots, the yellow shading, her fucking mouth. I can understand stylistic choices, but there's also such a thing as disliking a stylistic choice, which is what I am currently experiencing looking at this image. I mean, I looked at this and I had to think for a solid second, where the fuck is her mouth, before realizing that it was literally under her right eye. I mean, I'm currently kind of struggling with facial portraits myself, but goddamn. And mind you, I'm not just saying this because, oh, he's big bad and I want to punch up at him. I'm saying this because if you're like an industry professional, there's some level of quality that's expected from you. I'm not going to sit around and be like, oh, all artists that offer commissions must have absolutely perfect art. No, that's not what I'm saying, because, that's a ridiculous thing to say, but I'm just saying that if you've worked in the animation industry for as long as Butch has, I feel like this is kind of, it's not up to snuff if you ask me. But anyways, the older art aside, what caught the most attention recently was this commission, which was of Mikasa Ackerman. I'm not even sure if I pronounced that right. I'm sorry, I don't watch Attack on Titan, but yeah, here we have another image by Twitter user 028ton, which was posted 2 years earlier and looks strikingly similar in both pose and composition, which is just kind of ridiculous because really, I generally don't believe in pose theft. I don't think you can quote-unquote steal a pose from somebody else, as long as you switch up the angles and accessories and, the actual character being drawn. But looking at a side-by-side comparison of the two pictures, it's like literally the exact same pose and angle, and it's also the same character, which makes it worse because it's so obvious that this guy just looked up Mikasa Ackerman and decided, fuck it, I'm gonna copy this shit. I mean, seriously, Butch, this image is the 4th result. At least go to page 2 or something, goddamn. Oh, but it's not a big deal. He got inspired. It's not like he straight up traced it. Could be an argument if this were like a smaller, younger, not a professional creator. This guy is in his 50s, more than a grown-ass adult, and has worked on multiple TV shows and has been in the animation and art industry for years. years. So is it really too much of people to expect some kind of quality, especially if it's a piece that they're paying a rather exorbitant amount for? Is the bar really that low? I mean, oh heaven forbid, I expect a professional artist to have some originality in his work. Even if he couldn't think of a pose and had some like terrible art block or whatever, he was just so down bad he couldn't get inspired no matter what. There's such a thing as stock poses, or he could have just drawn her in like a neutral pose, like sitting, leaning against the wall, standing, some generic sword pose, something that wasn't like straight up ripped from a different artist. Like whenever I'm hard pressed for a pose, I look at stock photos of poses, combine the two that I think would look good together, and you know, boom, semi-original pose that I usually tweak as I finish the piece. It really isn't that complicated, and I'm nowhere near a professional artist, I admit. My work still has a long way to go, like a long way to go, before I can consider myself a professional, but I know to not just like rip a piece and try to sell it. I mean, I have to reiterate that I would not be treating this the same way if Butch was like an up-and-coming novice to animation, but no, this guy has been here for a while, and it's reasonable for people to expect original commissions that aren't copied. Anyways, my general thoughts are that in terms of commissions, if people want to spend money on them, that's their choice. I personally wouldn't, but I feel like Butch should at least put some effort into making the piece original, and not just straight up ripping it from somebody else. But anyways, on to the next segment. Now, I really hope that Butch doesn't still hold the views that he's displaying in these clips currently, but to my knowledge, I don't think he's ever addressed it, so I'll still be giving my opinions on them. Starting with this clip where he gives his take on introverts.
Being an introvert is, and a lot of people, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack over saying this. If you're an introvert, it's a very selfish thing to be, and here's why. Because it's all about you. You're self-centered. You don't want to get out of yourself and go like, well, maybe I could communicate with these people. Well, I'm just an introvert. I'm gonna sit over here and people have to figure out what I'm thinking. Because you're making everybody else uncomfortable when you're an introvert like that. Because no one knows what you're thinking, no one knows how you're feeling, and no one knows what to communicate with you.
Damn, Shawty, sorry I have crippling social anxiety. My bad, I was being really selfish when I just like didn't talk to people. I don't know who he's been hanging out with or how he even got to this conclusion, but generally if somebody's just kind of like standing around, not doing anything, not socializing, doing their own thing, I don't think anybody really cares. I don't know if this is just me not knowing how social situations work, but I generally don't think that introverts bother people as much as he seems to think they do. As an introvert, I'm not one because I'm I'm selfish and I don't want people knowing what I think. I'm so mysterious and edgy. I'm an introvert because I'm fucking terrified of social interaction and I have literally no clue how to navigate them. But I guess I'm in luck because his wife can apparently cure my autism with the power of Jesus. I mean, just take a look at this flyer because apparently I can learn how to pray away my autism with these healing conference journeys. And look who's a speaker, none other than Mrs. Hartman herself, and I'm sure she can teach me how Mr. Jesus can help me rid myself of the big autismo with just a single prayer. Might as well throw in an extra anti-cancer prayer just in case, man. Now, I don't have anything against Christianity. I'm not too religious myself personally, and you can practice whatever the hell you want, but good grief, it does start to become a problem when you claim that your God can cure deathly illnesses like cancer, MSP, and literally just rewire your entire brain and just make that pesky autism go away. What is this, an infomercial? Then there's this clip where he's speaking with Timmy Turner's voice actor.
But Tara was not the original Timmy Turner. The original actress was Mary Kay Bergman, who sadly passed away. But she was
such a sweet lady.
Sweet lady. She also did a bunch of voices on South Park when that first started.
Yeah.
She was the mom on South Park.
No, she had a very prolific career. She was awesome.
Doing great. And then she ended up passing away. And I think Tara actually had something to do with that. And so that's probably that was probably your fault. No, I'm kidding. That was probably your fault. That was probably your
I'm sorry, what the hell was that? Why would you say something like that directly to somebody's face? The it's a joke thing just really doesn't make that any better because really, where was the joke? Jokes are typically like, you know, funny, and there wasn't anything funny there. That was just straight up really disrespectful to both women involved, and honestly, I really hope he does regret saying that, and not just because it damaged his reputation. I would hope that he recognizes that it was actually a pretty shitty thing to say, and I genuinely can't think of any context where that would be like an acceptable thing to just, you know, say to someone's face. Anyways, that's about all I have to say on today's topic. I just felt like, you know, saying a quick piece on this while I warm up for bigger videos in the future because, like I mentioned before, I do have those plans, so, you know, let's wrap this stuff up.
Well, Mr. Squarepants, it seems you have a sauce.
So yeah, that was about it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed, and if you have any suggestions or thoughts on future content that I should be making, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. If you like my content, be sure to check out more of my videos because I do make more like them, and hopefully I can start getting back on track in terms of making videos again soon. I miss making content, and while that break was much needed, I am very glad to be back, and hopefully I can continue to grow my channel and make some great content and have fun doing it. So yeah, if you like this video, be sure to, like it, subscribe for more content, and thank you so much again for watching. If you want to check out my art, like the speed paint that I have in the background, hear my thoughts, maybe get a commission, be sure to check out all my social medias, all linked in the description down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!